Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're looking at the ECMWF extended model for today's second video. So we're going to go 42 days ahead, 6 weeks out with the EC extended, and we're going to see what that is showing, taking us into November. We go into the first week of November. With this. So I'll get on that for you in a second. Just to say that the first video release day was our 7 AM forecast. Got GMA Friday coming up for you in an hour or so's time, followed by a 10 to 14 day. I'll be live streaming tonight from 6 PM. So I shall see you live. No, what am I talking about? Live streaming tonight from 10 PM. I don't even know what time my own live stream is going to be. That's terrible, isn't it? That is absolutely terrible. No, I shall see you live. I'm so sorry, everybody. That's terrible, isn't it? Not knowing my own live stream time. You'll see you after 10 o'clock for a bit of Friday night fun. Right. I can't believe I said that. Right, okay, let's get on with it then. So we're going to look at the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. We're focusing on Ireland and the UK for this one. We do the wider European outlook with the EC extended on a Tuesday. Of course. So this is how week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly is looking for the UK and for Ireland. It's taking us from the 27th of September to the 4th of October, by the way. So unsettled. Next week going to be unsettled. Low pressure is going to be in control of the weather coming in off the Atlantic. There is a little bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge extending up towards some blocking around Greenland into northern latitudes as well. So not only unsettled, probably quite cool as well, ingraining and entrenching some pretty cool air into that trough of low pressure. 500 millibar high tonic from North Pole view down shows this up quite nice as well, with below average heights over the top of the UK and Ireland combined with a mid-Atlantic ridge which extends up towards Greenland. We send the jet stream on a northwest to southeast alignment. So again, on about trough low pressure, I expect a very unsettled week coming up, really, with low pressure well and truly in control. That looks like it would be quite a cool and wet week. We are placed on the cool side of the jet stream with that as well. And so all change from what we've had over the past several weeks, as we have below average temperature anomalies next week. Look at this, I haven't said that for a long time, but there we go. Ireland and the UK coming out with a colder than average temperature. Not in most parts of Western Europe looking quite cool as well, to be honest. Not only cool, but also quite wet too. So this is proper autumnal weather here next week from the 27th of September to the 4th of October. Wetter and cooler or colder than average. Right, let's move through to week 2 then. It's going to be before through to the 11th of October. More changes. I'm so sorry, everyone. As we get high pressure building to our south. A little bit of Bowie there. High pressure builds to our south. Low pressure is to the northwest. And that sends the wind and jet stream wind direction on a southwest to northeasterly sort of pattern. So not as unsettled, but probably still a bit mixed, particularly in northwest areas. I expect that will still be relatively unsettled with some rain at times. But it would be milder. We're going back onto the mild side of the jet stream there, pulling wind back up from the southwest. So I suspect when we look at the temperatures, we will see that we've gone milder than average. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly for week 2. Again, very indicative of above average heights, high pressure developing to the south, below average heights to the northwest, and the jet stream going northwest, so going southwest northeast, I should say, and it's looking a lot milder and also drier, especially for southern areas. Temperature anomaly should go above average. Let's have a look. Yes, it does. So much milder here for week 2. Temperatures going back to significantly above average of a temperature scale. That is around 1 to 3 degrees above average. Precipitation anomalies for week 2. So still a little bit wetter than average, especially to our west and northwest around here. But it's nowhere near as wet as it is in week 1. So there must be a drying trend that's going on there, and a warming trend too. Right, week 3 will be the 11th to the 18th of October. Let's have a look. Looks very similar, actually. So still we have this area of above average heights set to our south. high pressures to our south, low pressure, weak low pressure, but it is there to some degree away to the north. And so again, it's going to be quite a warm period coming up through the middle part of October, bringing up the wind from the southwest, I would have thought with that. The 500 millibar height anomaly, again, showing above average height set centered to our south, with that bringing wind from like a west or a southwesterly direction. So the temperature anomaly should be warmer than average, as it is, above average temperatures for the UK and for Ireland in week 3. And finally, week 3 precipitation anomaly from the 11th to 18th of October looking like this. So it's still slightly wetter than average just to our north, otherwise but very much a weakening signal, but probably, particularly for southern areas, going a little bit drier there. Let's carry on to week 4. It's going to be 18th, 25th of October. Another change. We get some low pressure centering just to our south. A bit of a trough of low to our south. Probably starts to send the jet stream southeast was there. I don't know what happened to the colour. Right, okay, let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly for week 4. So we find that we get some above average heights beginning to develop this week in the North Atlantic and heading up towards Greenland as well. So there's probably, this whitetail is probably going to end up with a trough of low pressure. So that could well be going to cooler and more unsettled conditions. The temperature anomaly for week 4 is going to average or no signal in that whitetail. No, most of Northern Europe is still looking quite warm, but definitely looks like this could be going a bit cooler across Western Europe, and the UK and Ireland might be included in that. And the week 4 precipitation anomaly, again, very weak signal, but I think it does look a little bit wetter here across western, northwestern parts of Europe. So that looks like it's a change, something a bit colder and wetter again through the 3rd week of October. Week 5 will be the 25th of October to the 1st of November, and with this one, for the mean sea level pressure anomaly, I'll just put in a few question marks, because it's not really all that clear what is going on there, to be honest. Week 5, 500 millibar height anomaly, again looking very patchy. What we can say is that there's clearly a ridge across eastern parts of Europe, which you would tend to think would bring up like a warm or a mild southerly flow across the east, northeast of Europe. So conversely, you would probably expect Western Europe to be under a cold northwesterly or northerly flow with that. It's one of the way that nature sort of balances itself out, the weather balances itself out in that sort of fashion a lot of the time. However, it is a bit inconclusive. The week 5 temperature anomaly, so the warmest temperatures to average are definitely across eastern parts of Europe, of course. I mean, we are sort of average to slightly above average UK and Ireland, but I think there's a bit of a cool down going on here at the end of October. And lastly, the precipitation anomaly, very, very weak signals by this point. We do see this rather drier of an average up here, though, within the high latitudes. So you would have thought that's going to be associated with some higher pressure up there. It's a little bit wet average just to our east, but it is a very, very weak signal that we have there. And then lastly, we go through to week 6, which will be the 1st through to the 8th of November. This is how it looks for the 1st week of November. If the chart will refresh, it looks like it's running a little bit slowly. And there we go. So again, I'm going to put in some question marks because there is no signal that is useful with that. So yeah, you can't draw any conclusion whatsoever from that mean sea level pressure anomaly. What about the 500 millibar height anomaly? That's how it looks. So this would suggest like a milder flow re-establishing with above average heights sort of to our west-southwest, which will bring the wind around that area of high pressure from a west to southwesterly direction. That could definitely be picking the temperature back up. Let's look at the anomaly there, temperature anomaly, I should say, for week 6. And yes, it's going milder. So that suggests, you know, first week of November is likely to be quite mild with high pressure just to our southwest on a west or southwesterly wind. And the very last thing we can look at is week 6 precipitation anomaly. Such weak signals, it's very hard to draw any conclusions, really. Obviously, it's a bit drier than average around here, which is where the Azores High is centering. So that's bringing in like southwest wind, but they could be moisture laden, you know, especially as you go into the latter part of the autumn. Southwesterlies from that kind of pack can be very moisture laden, sort of this green area here gives the game away of precipitation that you can start to get with those southwests. We start to drag that in, then it could turn really quite wet, especially for more western areas. It just depends how far northwards that Azores High ridge is, really. But as it's 6 weeks away, it's not really worth being all that, concerned about it. Right, so that's it for this week's EC Extended look ahead. So very changeable. We're starting off cool, actually quite cold and wet next week. We're going to go milder and drier, especially in the south by the look of it, through the early part of October. Then we go back, I think, something a little bit colder and wetter again in the second half of October. Before early November possibly goes very mild, but might be wet. So yeah, that's how it looks this week. It's just a snapshot, so it could all look very different next week. Remember, any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with big health warnings and large pinches of salt. So it's just a snapshot of what this model shows today. Next week, we're looking at next Friday. We're looking at Tuesday as well, Europe-wide. It could look very different. We'll see what GWV Friday has to say about all of this later on. Our next video, we'll be looking at Japanese and CFS V2 models for the next 4 weeks. So we'll find out then if the JMA is in agreement on this sort of changeable type October. And we're going to have a 10 to 14 day, but we'll include all regular features coming up later on this afternoon. So keep checking back to the channel for all of the updates. Live stream from 10 PM or after 10 PM. I got it right this time. Keep checking back for all of the videos and live streams and whatnot. And I shall see you a little bit later on. But for this EC Extended forecast, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.